Hi everybody, welcome back to my third video. Today is a little bit more of a deeper dive into your personalities and some of the things that you're really working on, being very specific and very particular so we can really hone in and kind of help each other out in a very actionable way. First question. What is the one character trait that has caused you a lot of grief over the years? So for myself, I don't think that I have a lot of grief or regrets that I keep within me. I'm not a huge a grudge holder or anything like that. But one of the things that has caused me a lot of grief over the years is me taking things too seriously. I know that might come off as a little bit like weird for some of you guys, but I'm not always the jokester and the hilarious person that you know me now today. I definitely take things very seriously, a lot of times at face value, and I do trust a lot of people. Not a lot of people, but I would say the people that come into my life that I expect them to operate at a certain level, and I expect them to, be almost very similar as me in terms of honesty and in terms of being able to have a very equal weighted relationship. But I realized as I grow older that most people don't operate at the same level, and they don't have high expectations for themselves, for others, in the way that I define it. So I have extremely high expectations for myself and others, and I do measure that on the acts that they have, which is the acts of service and the way that they take action. So I think that's caused me a lot of grief over the years because I take people and things that they do really seriously when people are just maybe doing it out of lulz. So that's something that I'm trying to, tone back in and realize that not everybody like me choose the harder right rather than the easier wrong. And that's one of the mottos that I live by. And that's one of the things that I'm proud of. But at the same time, I'm now realizing to dial it back in a way where I'm trying to understand how other people operate as well and take things a little bit more lightheartedly and take everything as a learning experience. So that's one of the things I definitely am working on continuously. The other question, which is focused on the skill that I'm working on, which is tied into the first question, I think personally. The main thing that I think I'm working on is the fact that I want to be perceived in the way that I want to be perceived, as perception is reality. And oftentimes I can come off maybe too strong or really intensely for some people, and I can come off as somebody who is very serious, and which I could be. Somebody who's very driven, very business mind oriented, or very intimidating for a lot of people. So I think that's something that I'm trying to soften and trying to not so much change, but more so make it more applicable and adaptable to the situation and context, where I can influence people around me to see me for the person that I am, which I think a lot of you guys do already, which makes my life so much easier. But I do think that is something that I'm working on as next steps for my business. I am looking to going to do seminars to qualify clients and close clients on building long-term relationships with me in order for me to do financial planning and building that trust with them. So a lot of that comes down to having the right impression, and I think that's something that I am working on. So yeah, I think ultimately it's kind of like the connection piece, and the book that says it all, right? The How to Win Friends and Influence People. I think that's the ultimate thing that I am really working on, and I want to work on, especially with this network. I think that could help a lot. Just the way that I come off or the way that I am received. I think these are great things that you guys can give me feedback on, and I'm more than happy to kind of listen and tune in and figure out what I could do with the different various personalities and gem types, to make it more palatable for those people, and in crafting the right messages so that they understand me in the way that I want to be understood, and perceive me in a way where I am not just, just up there in a way. I feel like that's kind of a lot of times how people receive me. So yeah, that's my spiel about my 2 questions for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in again, and I hope again you had more chances to get to know yourself, understand, think more about the things that could really contribute to the group as well as to yourselves, and look back at these videos one day and think about how far you've come. So, all right. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to meeting everybody again next Sunday. Don't be late.